Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fan Appreciation Month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, we're taking a look at a fantasy film from 2007 from infamous German filmmaker Uwe Boll. That movie is In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale. Now, first of all, I have to say straight up, I've never played any of the Dungeon Siege games. I have no idea how closely tied this thing is going to be to the video game series it is named after. And considering that this is from Uwe Boll, I'm going to assume it's going to have almost no connection to that fucking video game series. Now, besides the really loose tie-in with Dungeon Siege, the only other things I know about this movie is that it stars Jason Statham, and I wouldn't even have known that if his face wasn't plastered on the cover, and that it's directed by Uwe Boll, and that it came out in 2007. I actually saw ads for this thing on TV way back in 2007, but I couldn't tell you a single thing about those ads, so I have no idea what the fuck I'm getting. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I have no idea if this movie is going to be any good. I have no earthly clue. I can probably hazard a guess and say that it's going to suck hard, specifically because it's directed by Uwe Boll, but I do have to remember that Boll also made Postal, and I kind of liked Postal. So this thing does have that slight chance, and the only way I'm going to find out if this thing is any good at all is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale. Well, guys, I am able to say one thing. The costumes in this movie are shit. And I am going to have to specify now. The costumes on the armies of Krug are just horrible. Because we hear early on that these things are supposed to be like beastly, like half fucking dog creatures. And all of them are just dudes in really loose-fitting rubber masks with even looser rubber, armor. It looks really cheap, and the very fact that we continue to get, close-ups of it really isn't helping any. Guys, what's really beginning to bother me slightly with this movie? The back of the DVD was touting that this movie has a huge, all fucking star, cast, and that is a fantastic claim to have. It's an even better claim when your all-star cast is actually putting in some level of effort. And outside of Ron Perlman, I'm not seeing anyone else here who's even trying to put in a fucking effort, and it's making this film drastically worse with every passing scene. Alright, guys, I kind of sort of feel like asking now, is anything of interest going to happen in this fucking movie, like, ever? Because I'm still waiting, guys, for the story to actually go somewhere where I might actually feel like I'm going to care, and the movie hasn't even given us, that. It's been a dull, tedious bore, and goddammit, there's still another hour left. Okay, I totally understand that. This is kind of a stupid question, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Why the hell does the king have a ninja, squad to go along with his army of traditional fantasy troops? At what point did King fucking Bert decide that he needed a team of ninjas alongside his archers and his, other, warriors? It just seems really out of place to me, and it seems really kind of stupid. Guys, it's actually kind of funny. It just how much they want us to care about this character's death, but you know what? I don't care. The king is fucking dead. I don't give a shit. Perhaps maybe if the writing was better, perhaps maybe if Burt fucking Reynolds tried to act, maybe I would have cared. But I don't. So wait a minute here. So our villain has all of his power because a magus can only get power if they're serving under a king. So he installed himself as king of a bunch of beastly creatures. I really didn't know you could just randomly walk in somewhere and go, "Behold, I am king." I didn't think that fucking worked. That seriously, guys, like the dumbest fucking like loophole I think I've ever fucking heard. My God, that was just fucking retarded. Well, guys, that was In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale. Let's shut that shit off. Alright. Let's start with writing. I guess I should start by saying that in terms of story, this is a very safe and very by-the-numbers fantasy film. It ultimately is not trying anything new. It's not, and it's not trying anything, different. And you know what? That honestly is fine, because I do know a lot of people are really into fantasy films, even if they're as basic as the story here. However, what I always ask for, regardless of genre, is that you have characters who have some level of depth and personality, and that you actually try to make the story interesting. And that is where the script here stumbles, falters, and dies. You see, because every single one of our characters are completely devoid of personality. And that basically leaves us with just basically hollow and shallow husks who are there specifically just to drone out dialogue, which serves no other purpose than to basically trudge this story forward. And that, guys, is going to become very torturous for almost everybody watching it, and it's going to become really torturous really fucking quick. Now, this also is not helped by the fact that we also have plot points which are just randomly dumped in for absolutely no other reason than to give us even more shit to have to deal with. So I honestly now, guys, am going to give out a couple of spoilers. I'm warning you right now. For the next about minute to maybe 2 minutes, I'm probably going to be talking about nothing but spoiler heavy shit. All right, so you have been warned. One of the big ones is when our king, who was played by Burt fucking Reynolds, finds out that our main character, Farmer, who's played by Jason Statham, is his long-lost son and the true heir to the throne. And that point is brought up specifically so we can kill off Reynolds and immediately install Statham as our king. And the only other reason it is in there is basically so that way then they can basically completely kill off the subplot of the king's nephew, who is played by Matthew Lillard, attempting to take the throne by killing his uncle. So we basically are built up onto this story, and it is completely killed off when we just get another king out of fucking nowhere. It seems really lazy and really stupid. And speaking of lazy and stupid shit involving kings, in the final act, we are treated to a wizard's duel of sorts between the magus for the king and our villain, who is also a magus. All right, now that's totally fine. And then it's brought up that a fucking magus only has its powers if it's working for a king. And then our villain goes, "Oh yeah, funny thing, the fucking, like Krug, well, they don't have a king." So I basically just strolled in and said, I am now your king, and now I work for me, so I have all the power I could possibly want. Why the fuck even, bring it up? You have to bring it up. So that way then when our villain finally fucking squares off with, Statham, he can then mention offhandedly that it is a rare instance of a king fighting against another king, and then never bring it up again. And to even make it a king versus king battle doesn't fucking serve any purpose. Because Farmer, Statham, because he's already going there. Because he wants vengeance and he wants his fucking wife back. You don't need to work in a king versus king thing when the villain has already kidnapped his wife and killed his fucking son. It doesn't serve any purpose, and it was just lazily thrown in there, apparently, to pad out the fucking film. And this film shouldn't have needed padding, because you could have taken that time and actually fleshed out these fucking characters, so that way they had some level of life, depth, and personality. Now, I do know a way that the writing here could have been infinitely fixed. There's two ways you could have fixed it. One would have been to have a couple more drafts done, perhaps a couple more drafts of the script done in hopes of trying to get more personality and life into these characters. And perhaps maybe if you didn't put the, writing duties in the hands of the same brainless chimp who shat forth the script for Splice, perhaps maybe then we would have had something better. But you know what? After seeing this and after seeing Splice, I can tell you right now that fucking writer, I believe his name is Doug Taylor. He cannot write. And I am dreading ever seeing his fucking name in the credits for movies, fucking again. The man is the fucking man is to writing what cancer is to a healthy body. It's not good. Oh my god. So yeah, guys, the writing here sucks from top to bottom, and the only thing we have is a promising story. However, though, that promising story is the same cookie-cutter fantasy story we've seen hundreds of times over. So frankly, the writing here is a massive failure. Now we move on to acting. We have this powerful powerhouse all fucking star cast. And you know what? That seriously sounds awesome when you go and you announce it on the back of your DVD case. And you are able to talk about how you have, let's see here, you've got Ron Perlman, and you've got Jason Statham, and you have Matthew Lillard, and you have Burt Reynolds, and you have Lily fucking Sobieski. You have all these people. But guess what? It doesn't help when none of them are putting in any fucking effort to actually act. There are two of them I can say who at least put in a little bit of effort. One of them is Ron fucking Perlman. But you see, Perlman though can make almost anything work, and his character is kind of likable. And then there's Matthew, Lillard, and I never thought I would say this because I always thought that Lillard just could not act after, some of the other things I have seen him in. But he actually put in a fucking effort here. And when I say that he put in a friggin' effort, I mean he tried desperately. He failed horribly, but damn it, at least he tried desperately to put on a British accent to kind of sort of tie into the fact that apparently in fantasy films British accents are kind of sort of the norm. And beyond him and the few other naturally English actors, nobody else here is trying for a frickin' accent, which means that we have actors. So we have characters who sound as if they are from Boston, because the actor is from Boston. We have people who basically have no accent at all because they are from parts of the U.S. where accents apparently are just not there. And then we have 2 or 3 people who are born with English accents and are not trying to hide them. And then we have Matthew, Lillard just desperately flailing around in his, vocal pattern to attempt to sound British. And the best he does is like a word here, and occasionally a full-blown sentence that actually sounds like it's done in whatever accent he was properly shooting for. So guess what? At least now at least Lillard tried. And you know what? I honestly, dude, I'm going to give him a ton of praise for that, because Lillard, genuinely, I thought just could not fucking act to save his soul. And he has proven, and he has proven me wrong here. At least he knows how to put in effort, which, you know what? Awesome. Rock on. That's really about the best I can say for acting. Costuming. I mentioned this earlier. Our evil army, the fucking Krug, are some of the worst costumed characters I've ever seen. I want you guys to imagine, let's say the orcs, let's say like the orcs and the Nazgul from the fucking Lord of the Rings movies, if all of them were costumed on a $50 budget. That basically is what we have here. We have armor, helmets, and masks that are made entirely out of really squishy, really flexible, ultra cheap looking, rubber. And they just look terrible. And none of them look threatening in the slightest. And then on the other side we have, we then have our king and his army, who all of them are decked out in chainmail and plates and everything else, and it actually looks good. However, though, now the very fact that all of them look decent actually make the fucking Krug look worse. So yeah, guys. So we then have this massive fight between people in full fucking armor against people decked out in friggin' rubber. And it looks cheap, it looks terrible. And honestly, guys, it really does cheapen this movie a lot. And I looked into it, and this movie was made on a $60 million budget. So that means that there is no excuse for the fucking Krug to look this frickin' cheap. Now, while I'm on the subject of cheap, let's dive right into special effects. This movie has a whole lot of CG, and even though the movie was made in 2007, the CG looks as if it came from 1997. So, yeah, that is not fucking good in the slightest. The CG here is incredibly cheap. Thankfully, there is very little of it. However, though, when it is there, it is very noticeable, it is incredibly cheap, and by God, does it ever fucking suck. Lighting here is good. Camera work. Right here, guys, is the one glowing piece of praise I am going to give to this film. The camera work is fantastic. We have these awesome sweeping shots, and everything else here just looks fantastic. So, guys, camera work here is beautiful, and the lighting here is perfect, and the sound mix is fine. It really is sort of a pity that we have this fantastic camera work, and we have the cheap fucking costumes, and we have the terrible fucking CG, and we have a script that, the script is shit. There is no other way to fucking put it. So guys, we honestly have a movie here which is fucking which is beautiful on every technical level you could hit, and then we get into everything else, and the movie falls to pieces. So, guys, am I able to recommend In the Name of the King? Oh, fuck no! And I also know that there is a fucking sequel, which is actually called In the Name of the King 2, Two Worlds, which tells me that, and I'm just taking a wild guess here, that the fucking sequel to the fucking Dungeon Siege movie is a Two Worlds movie. I don't even want to know how in the fuck we tie two completely different video game properties to fucking together. But guess what, guys? Uwe fucking Boll tried. And no, I am not bothering with it. No, in fact, I am going to try to avoid all other Uwe Boll films from here until the end of time, because guess what? This right here is the last one that was sent in off of the wish list. And now I never have to worry about touching another Uwe Boll film for as long as I fucking live. And guess what? I'm going to be a hell of a lot happier doing that, because guess what? He made Postal, and then everything else was shit. And no, guys, I really do not want to hear about his non-fucking video game work, because guess what? A fucking filmmaker should, at all times, be trying to put out quality work every single time. And if he's phoning it in with fucking, like big-name properties, I don't care about his smaller shit. Fuck him. I am not watching any more of Uwe Boll's films. Excuse me. And it's shit like this, and House of the Dead, and and everything else that has stopped me from ever touching another one of his films. Now, because this is Fan Appreciation Month, In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale, came off of the Amazon wish list. The person who sent it in was Kari, and if you guys could please swing on over to Kari's newest channel, and it actually is a co-op channel with her and 2 other people. Please, guys, swing over there and check out everything which is, over there. Kari, you know what? Thank you, because you were the one who sent in this one. I believe you also sent in Alone in the Dark, and you may have also been the one who sent in House of the Dead. Memory's kind of fading right now. But anyway, so yeah, it was you who helped me get through a whole lot of this Uwe fucking Boll garbage. And I probably would not have known how bad any of these were if it wasn't for you. Now, good God, that thing was painful. Once more, guys, please, if you could please go and check out her channel, that would be awesome. And I actually am going to provide the link for you. Just swing over there, check it out. It's going to be some awesome stuff. Anyway, guys, wow, that was just bad. You know what? I think I'm going to go and watch the Hobbit movies. Why? Just because I kind of feel in the mood for, the Hobbit. So anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.